Hello and welcome to another episode of the Full Force Weekly, brought to you by Generals Joe's Reborn.com with me as your host, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostik80. For today's episode, I'm joined by the awesome Patrick Notpicard Stewart. In this regular video series, we round up all the week's news in the world of G.I. Joe. What is it, Pat?
It's Full Force Weekly.
Hey, we are back, yo. How are you doing, buddy?
Doing okay. How have you been? It
Yeah,
feels like it's been 3 months since we've been on.
It's actually been 1 week, 2 weeks.
It's been we only took one off, which means it's been 2 weeks since,
It's been, it does feel like, it does feel like an age that we haven't talked to each other. It feels weird. I mean, we've obviously been messaging each other for,
right,
constantly, like lovesick teenagers. But but we haven't really done this for ages. So yeah, it's good to be back. How is everyone in the chat? Hello to everyone. There's a lot of you already. Tac Toys, Tristan McDonald, Luke Poulon, Kimberlyn, now with 25% more beard. I like how you change that every single time, Jeremy. It's amazing. Slave to Leia, Robert Kalupitan, Eric Clark, you be playing, Adam Skalmowski, Durant. Hello, morning, everybody. Thanks for all the comments already. Crazy pants. Tristan's already asking questions. Morning, all. Don't know if anyone noticed, but Pulse US has the Valkyries moved up to August 28th for shipping. Originally was September with Snow Job. Yes, that popped up, I would say, last week, I want to say, Tristan. I think that dropped. I saw it on Twitter somewhere, either Classic Toys UK or who always seem to be on it with this stuff, by the way. Great shout out to them. I saw a few kind of things about the Valkyries going up to the 28th. That's awesome. Thank you, Tristan, for letting us know. That will probably lead in nicely to our classified chat later on, Pat, won't it, with everything that's hitting us at the moment.
So they're actually updating the information on the site to let us know. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, that is quite interesting because it's not usually, it's just, you find out because you get
Surprise.
An email.
Yeah.
Or it's on your doorstep. Oh, what's this here that I didn't realize was coming today? Happy birthday to Grant Mounier's dad. It's his birthday today. I just thought I'd shout that out for you, Grant.
It's my grandmother's birthday today.
Yeah. What did you say? What?
It's my grandmother's birthday today as well.
It's everyone's birthday. It's August the 19th. Everyone was born then. Fantastic. There you go. Couple of birthdays. Happy birthday to your grandmother as well, then, Pat.
Thank you.
How old is she now?
Grandma's behalf. Oh, in her 90s.
Wow, good innings.
91, I think.
That's awesome. Good stuff. Yeah, shout out. Happy Sweet 16 is what I'll say.
That's right. I'll tell her that.
Yeah, tell her happy birthday from everyone on the show. Yeah, we've got loads of news. Well, we haven't got loads of news. We've got news this week though. If we'd have gone up last weekend, Pat and I would have just been sitting here twiddling our thumbs and somehow pulled out 3 hours.
We'd still be on, is what would happen. Yeah,
that's how it works. That's the disparity between.
We would just get on and wait for there to be news.
That's what we do. Like ESPN, it's like 24 hours a day, constant news somehow. Anyway, we've got a few things to talk about this week. A couple of things I want to give a few heads up about, though, first and foremost. We haven't had full confirmation about our first news story about Diecast Galaxy, but it's pretty obvious. And talking with Pat about it beforehand, we've kind of got an idea of what this whole scenario is about. And I would also probably let you guys know that in the classified segment, I have effectively misled you with 2 items that popped up on eBay. But we'll explain ourselves and Pat will set the record straight. That's what it is. I throw stuff at the wall and Pat cleans it up. That's how it works.
Well, yeah, but the fun part was I had pointed you in the direction of those auctions earlier, so I kind of misled you.
You misled me, and then I misled the entire fandom. That's not true. Not the entire fandom does not watch this show. Oh yes, that's another good point. It's A.R.M.O.R today, so we've got a hard stop at 11. Believe it or not, we will be stopping after an hour. So without further ado, then, Pat, let's go on to our first news story, and that is in Diecast Galaxy News. An image appeared over the past week, courtesy of Daniel McLeod, showing what looks to be Jada vamps and stingers being sold loose under the brand Diecast Galaxy. The display was spotted at a Roadrunner convenience store in Kingsport, and other fans have also spotted them in various 7-Elevens and Lowe's throughout the country. They are $7.99, and as of right now, we can't confirm whether they use the Jada vehicles outright or if they are a brand new licensed item, but we will keep you updated. Well, we can more or less tell you that it's pretty much the Jada vehicles, isn't it, Pat?
Yeah, I kind of think it is, because there have been other Jada vehicles found in a similar way. I actually looked it up on the Facebook page, and it was Ernest Tozier had replied with an Optimus Prime that he still had the tag on that was a Jada Toys Optimus that was the same thing as the one that's boxed, but it was being sold in this fashion loose.
Is that the 132 scale one with the minifigure?
You know what? I'm not sure on the Optimus Prime. That could be different. I think that's what he's saying. But he's saying he picked it up from one of these racks. But there have been other Jada vehicles that have popped up on these in like Walgreens and gas stations. So it kind of doesn't surprise me that it's just the toys that are this size. I don't expect it to be a pull back and let it go.
No.
I didn't see anyone confirm that it wasn't. But these look just like the Jada Toys ones. And honestly, probably a good deal if it really is $7.99. Yeah,
that is kind of cool, actually. Excuse me. Sorry, I just had a drink of Lucasade Orange, and now I'm going to be burping for the rest of the day. Yeah, shout out to Daniel McLeod as well, who posted this originally. And I think there were other people that have been posting images as well of finding them in all sorts of places like Lowe's Retail and what was the other one I mentioned? Gas stations, but I can't. 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven, and somebody mentioned a Roadrunner gas station. It's
Kingsport.
Some gas station supply company, I would imagine, has probably bought out overstock or something.
That is, very likely what it is, and I think that's a good bet and a good shout. Ben Conway in the chat. Good morning, sexy beasts. He says, "Hello, Ben."
What? Hello, Ben.
I was saying hello, and you're just like, I don't.
Yeah, well, like you're like hello, Ben, and then waited for me to say hi, as if I'm Ben.
I thought you were going to say hello, Ben, as well. That's all. I was just giving you an opportunity to greet a man that's called you a sexy beast.
Well, I do appreciate that. Yeah, no, I was just a little confused at you directing hello, Ben, to me.
Hello, Ben. I'll call you Ben for the rest of the show now. Not. I can't think of any famous.
We shout out Ben later. He's got some cool stuff that I was excited about this week.
Yes, we will be talking about him a little bit later on. I'm going to call you Not Conway though from now on. Is that all right?
Okay.
Ben, Not Conway Stewart. That doesn't make any sense. Keith has also shouted out, does anyone else get the gear kit from Codename Iowa? Holy cats, it's awesome. The gear kits are next level. So I'm glad you got one, Keith, and you'll be able to play along today with A.R.M.O.R as well with your gear kit. I'm just going to double check to see what all the comments are coming through. My goodness, there's so many at the moment. Thank you guys for all of the comments so far. I couldn't really see any questions necessarily in there. Oh, yes, I do. Grant has said, do you guys have any of the recent 1/12 scale figures from Jada? 1/12 scale. That would be.
That'd be well, 1/12 would be a 6-inch figure.
Yeah. So that you must mean 132, Grant, right?
Yeah. I have the Jada, the mini nano metal figures, if that's what he's talking about. I've collected all of those, and I've collected these vehicles. Actually, I've bought all the Jada G.I. Joe stuff.
Yeah, there's been
I like it a lot.
The big multi minifigure pack was really fun. Or the little one, there was a smaller one, like a 6-pack or something, wasn't there? I remember that too, of minifigures. Then there were the 3 vehicle mini figures. And then there were the 3 132 scale, slightly bigger Hiss Tank with Destro, Stinger with Cobra Commander, and Vamp with Duke. If I think that's correct. Anyway,
Yeah, the Hiss Tank's right here. It figures that the one vehicle that I would choose to keep on the shelf would be the Hiss Tank, and not the one that we could use for useful comparison today.
Brilliant.
But yeah, they're really nice. I like them a lot.
That's true. Jada do make 112 Street Fighter. You're right. You're right. I see what you mean now. Sorry, Grant. You mean the actual figures. Apologies.
Jada makes,
do you know what?
I didn't know that they did that.
Yeah, I've definitely seen the Street Fighter 2 ones. They're pretty cool. And Universal Monsters. Yeah, you're right. Thank you guys for just making that clear. I appreciate it. And sorry, Grant, for completely gaslighting you there and being like, oh, you obviously mean 132. Yeah, my apologies. But no, I haven't collected any of those yet. Pat, have you seen any of them at all?
No, I don't even know anything about that. Are they metal?
No, they're like regular. They're just like Jada's like action figure foray into that.
Yeah, okay. I see. Yeah, I didn't realize they were doing those. I see Dracula here. Huh.
Do you know what? There are some beautiful Street Fighter 2 figures out at the moment, and I can't remember if they're Jada or not. They're the ones that come in those amazing packages of the actual cabinets.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
But I'm not sure if they're Jada or if they're someone else. They might be Jada, though.
Yeah, I probably didn't. Jada Toy 6-inch action figure Street Fighter. Yeah, with it looks like the arcade cabinet. Yeah.
Oh man, that is I would love those.
I have seen those, but didn't realize that they were Jada.
I didn't know they were Jada either. Yeah, absolutely brilliant looking. I've definitely seen them. I don't think I even realized they were Jada. That's nuts. Anyway, that is Diecast Galaxy. That's all we kind of know about that at the moment. And yeah, we will be, I guess, keeping our eyes open at every gas station we go in from now on, Pat, to see if we can pick these up. It'd have been nice if they'd repainted them into like a tiger sting and I don't know, something else.
If they're newly manufactured, yeah. If they're just overstock, it's what you get. What you get. But $7.99. That's the part that I'm curious about. Is that price actually the price that they are? And it probably is.
Yeah, because what did you say? They're about $12.99 for the figure and minifigure, the vehicle and minifigure. That is a significant price drop. Like a $5 is pretty. Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, because $5 was about the price of the pack of 5 figures. So to just subtract out one figure from it, which if these are overstock, I won't have to wonder what they did with all those. Well, I hardly saw them. I saw like the Vamp a lot, but I never saw the Stinger I saw the Stinger once in Target, and the Hiss Tank I think I got on Amazon, and I've never seen it in the store. Yeah. The Vamp I saw a couple of times, and I thought, that's one you could definitely get hold of. But yeah, Stinger, never saw it. Hiss Tank, never saw it. So I wonder what happened at all with that. Because we were talking like, maybe they didn't do very well. And there was like, but for ages, there wasn't anything on the pegs at the time. Same with the minifigures. They were really awkward to get hold of. And then all of a sudden, there were like 20 of them on a peg. And they didn't really move at that point because everyone had got them, online or whatever. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I wonder how well they did, because I was hoping we'd get loads more of those. I was really hoping we'd get more of the really small Jada kind of Hollywood rides. Me too. Really, they were the one pack of them, right? Yeah, and like they'd even shown off that they had other ones, in the plans and all that kind of stuff, and like Toy Fair a couple of years back. So yeah, I was a little disappointed we didn't see more of those, honestly. And who knows, we might see more of them, but it's I don't know. It just seems like it's been too long at this point. But anyway, that's Diecast Galaxy. We somehow managed 15 minutes in that. This is the problem we have. We spend hours and hours on the most trivial BS. And then we have to rush through all of the stuff that requires a lot of consideration and thought. But, that's how we roll.
Next up then, Pat, we have Target Full Geek Out just around the corner. Can you believe it? Where's the time going?
I know. I need a calendar of all of these events for the year, for next year.
I mean, you know, just come on this every week and I'll tell you.
Okay, that'll work.
Okay, Target Full Geek Out, here we go. Target Full Geek Out is right around the corner, which means that we can probably expect more classified pre-orders. So far, we are aware of a few possible listings that could relate to what would be revealed here, including the Poe, Dahl and Nabokov leak listings from a number of months ago. We've also seen render reveals for Python Patrol Copperhead and the Cobra Trooper, so it's likely that those two might be on the list for the online drop that kicks off on August the 25th and continues with a reveal every Friday at 8 AM Central until the 29th of September. Might be worth keeping an eye on the Hasbro drop on the 15th of next month. Yes, it might be a good idea to do that. If you're interested in G.I. Joe Classified, you might not be. That'd be strange if you watch this channel and you don't like it. That would be kind of weird, wouldn't it? Why would you watch this? You wouldn't watch it for the clever and witty banter.
Well, maybe you're just a fan of G.I. Joe and all the O-ring stuff, and you're like, well, I just need to learn about socks and cards and all the other stuff.
Belt buckles and pogs, and I'm trying to think of other random stuff.
Have I been on here prior to the classified stuff being around? Because you've been doing this longer than that.
Me and you with the first. We started doing the weekly.
Well, that's
together.
Right.
So yeah, the weekly we've definitely been together for, but prior to that, I don't know. When did we start? I don't know. I feel like I've been doing the news bursts, obviously, before your introduction into the weekly. But like, I don't know. That's a good question. It doesn't matter anyway, does it? But yeah, we've been here throughout all of the times. It feels like throughout every single iteration of the brand since the 60s.
Yeah, I can remember talking about the first waves. So unless we started it at the start of Classified, which I don't think so. I think that we were around talking about socks and other things originally.
We did. The first one we did was Toy Fair, right? And I think that was before Classified because it was Gamerverse 4-inch figures like Ryu and like those figures. I don't think Classified was out then. Yeah, I think we were there for the birth of it, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's quite interesting to realize. Oh, 84 Rain says, I am in fact here for the witty banter. What's a G.I. Joe? Well, we appreciate that. That's great. Jenny Manning says, I tune in for the golf club news. I want to know what random stuff you guys are here for. When it comes to G.I. Joe, what's the most random? In the comments, let us know what's the most random G.I. Joe merchandise we have covered on the show that you can remember. RKW, thank you. You are here for the socks. It feels like Target is due for a different theme soon, says Neil. Actually, that's a good point. Oh, this is brilliant from Kimberlin. I'm here for Naked HD. You're in the right place, mate. You're in the right place. This is a good point from Neil, though. It feels like Target is due for a different theme soon. I will tell you, Neil, not yet. But I do think the same as you. I feel like what they could do with Tiger Force now, considering you've got like it's mainly going to be like a lot of new characters and characters that haven't probably even been introduced into the line yet. When you look at like Lifeline and is that it? And Roadblock. Well, Roadblock's a repaint, and Tripwire, which would be a repaint as well. So maybe those two are on the cards. But in terms of like new figures, like I could see Lifeline. Would he be one of the ones that they bring out before they get rid of this theme? I mean, how long do you think Target can keep the Tiger Force Python Patrol thing going?
Honestly, I think that they can see through all the Python Patrol stuff, but at least in the original run, as much of it that's available. But I think that Tiger Force is going to be the one that's difficult because there's a lot more Tiger Force characters to be done. And Python Patrol, they're already, adding Viper into the mix that's going to extend it out.
Yeah, like Tele Viper is one, isn't it, that's left, I think, to be done, because obviously we've got the renders for Copperhead and the Trooper, and that means that we've got the Copperhead, Trooper, the Viper, Officer, and what am I
Crimson
blanking
Guard?
on? Crimson Guard, thank you. That would be the whole lineup then, with the Tele Viper thrown in. So that would be the whole original lineup. But then, of course, you've got Viper, you've got the Bat. So they're throwing in new things that weren't necessarily anything to do with Python Patrol in the past.
Right.
I think if you look at Tiger Force, obviously you've got Lifeline, then you've got Hit and Run. If you go into like the Euro exclusive thing, which they want to do, we've seen Outback. So, the precedent has been set. I think Hit and Run, Blizzard, Tunnel Rat, Sneak Peek, Psych Out. There's a lot of figures there that would be their first figures in the line. So I wonder if you could effectively Wreckage Sabretooth. Yes, Jeremy, I get that. I wonder if you could go from give Target a new theme so it freshens it up, right? And then just incorporate those Tiger Force characters in mainline repaint style, where you've got like Barbecue, for example. He was repainted in the main line in the Marauders deco.
Right.
So again, precedent is there, and you wouldn't necessarily, it would be the odd one here or there that you're doing, wouldn't it?
I think that in order to get most of the Tiger Force, they're going to have to do that, unless they change things up and only change the Cobra half at Target, because Tiger Force, the original run was even larger than Python Patrol's original run.
Yeah, it's double in it, or probably maybe even more than that, the original run. Yeah, you're right.
So, and then you have all the other characters that are added and the unproduced characters to put in there that we want. I think that they need to look at getting out what they can and then refreshing it just for the sake of Target.
Yeah.
And then giving us those Tiger Force characters later in the main line.
Yeah, no, I think I think that makes a lot of sense.
Or as Pulse exclusives.
Yeah, that's actually, right, that's not a bad shout. Matt Matson says he's here for the fresh cheese bags. I appreciate that. Neil says Tiger Force and Python Patrol is over a year old by now. It really is. Yeah, totally. Kimberlin says golf clubs was random action force. It certainly was. I know that's not what it stands for, but I can't say it on the channel, can I? Todd says I'm here for the innuendos. I appreciate that as well, Todd. Yeah, we do get a lot of those. We squeeze a lot of those in, don't we?
They're here and there, yeah.
84 Rain says the weird helicopter. Do you mean the one that Pat destroyed his entire shelving unit with? Have you still got that?
That's still around here somewhere.
Yeah, it's probably broken.
This all needs to be cleared out. This needs to. I've been staring at this and being like, it's getting cluttered. It's just, I need to pull it all down and start again.
Adam says, what about the weird wooden throw planes? Yes, that's another good one that you guys are remembering stuff better than I do. Like, we cover it. I'll write copy, record it, do a news burst, or we'll do this on the weekly, and then it goes out of my brain and I don't think about it ever again until I see it or get it. But it's very rarely that happens. So thank you, Adam. Good shout on those.
But we've got Target Fall Geek Out.
Yes, we have, which is this. So interesting things here, right, with Target Full Geek Out. Didn't we just have a Target Geek Out? I'm pretty sure we did. We had the summer one, didn't we? And now, so it's very likely we're going to get some offerings for classified. We've got, obviously, on September 15th, we have Hasbro doing a drop. So might be a good opportunity to see classified stuff. And then if we move on, we've got these are the kind of things that are floating around at the moment. So Nabokov, which is a figure and vehicle in the Python Patrol department, $44.99. We don't know any more than that. That's all we know in terms of the information about Nabokov. A lot of the heavy theories are that it's a Televiper and Trouble Bubble. I don't know is the answer to that, and I cannot confirm that that is yay or nay. And I genuinely don't know. Usually, like I say, I've said in the past, if I know, I will tell you I know, but I might not be able to tell you what it is. And in this case, I just don't blooming know. What else could that be, Pat, if not a televiper in trouble bubble?
I don't know. Maybe a Python vamp. It could even be. I mean, could it be the his tank?
No, it's
electronics?
for $44.99.
Oh no, not for $44.99. No,
yeah,
no.
that.
Yeah,
mate,
no, I don't know what I'm thinking in there.
We would be clamoring for those, wouldn't we? Army building.
That would feel like an insult.
It would, wouldn't it?
Yeah, if it was closer to 100 something, I would see it being his tank.
Yeah.
$44.99 though, you're going to fit a vehicle in. It's going to have to be something RAM sized.
Yeah, smaller, definitely. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what it could be, but at this
I don't
point,
think it's it's not the cycle that came with Baroness. I don't think we're going to see that again.
I don't think we'll see it again. I don't think we'll see the coil cycle again. I think that's kind of it came out, had its time, and I don't think it had plenty of opportunity to get a repaint and never really did. I know it's not like they just throw the tooling out, but at the same time, I don't know. I can't see that really coming back again.
How do you think that they're going to choose what to show us? Is it going to be something with a lot of impact, or is it just going to be the next thing that's in the pipeline for Target? Like, because personally, I kind of would rather see a figure and vehicle be given more of a special introduction rather than just a figure. Do you think that they're going to show us the figure and vehicle for that reason, or if the figures are closer to being done, will they just show that?
Oh, well, if it's Target for GEEK-OUT, it'll be pre-order and reveal at the same time. So you'll get everything, basically.
Right, but we know that then after the Target Fall GEEK-OUT, we have the Target Winter Freak Out, where you have to keep on, telling them that you still want those pre-orders.
And then the Target Get the Out, which is when they finally get the stuff delivered and out of the door. That's amazing. That's brilliant. I like that. The Target Freak Out. Yes, I want it still. Stop emailing me.
So, but I'm just wondering how that's chosen. And the fact that sometimes you have to keep re-upping makes me think that they could be choosing things that are later on, that they're just picking amongst their deals that they're making already. Because it doesn't feel like it's just whatever is coming next is what they show, is it?
Well, I mean, we do know that. Well, this is the thing, right? We don't know what this is at all. Like, we don't know what Nabokov is. We don't know what Poe or Dahl are. We just know that these are, listings that have leaked, etc., or in their system. In terms of the GEEK-OUT thing itself, it will be the first time we see any of this stuff, and it will be new. The other thing I'll throw in here before we move on. So we've got Poe and Dahl, right? They're another two that are kind of floating about there. Then we've also obviously been revealed during SDCC that Python Copperhead and Python Trooper. So we know that these two are probably very likely either one of those are going to probably be involved in the full GEEK-OUT reveals. Maybe both of those, or it might be one of those and maybe a Tiger Force one, or it might be Nabokov, which is the figure and vehicle. Hell, I'm just going to quickly go over here and say we've got a Copperhead come in. Do you think they've gone mental and done some sort of water moccasin?
Not for $44.99.
There's no way they could do it for that price, is there?
They could do some sort of like a jet ski type vehicle, like something smaller. There could be something like that coming. I don't know. It's really hard to say.
It is, isn't it? Like I don't know, and so it's difficult to kind of like think about what it could necessarily be. Like the Flint and Viper thing came out of nowhere, and they were just like in the booth, and then all of a sudden they were available on Target for pre-order. So that was slightly interesting. So with this particular one coming up, could be any of those, and obviously these two guys could fit into Poe or Dahl. I've got a feeling that I think I said before that I think Poe and Dahl were redecos, right? and one was Python Patrol and one was Tiger Force, but we didn't know which one was which. So that was the information we had on that one. So I think that maybe one of Copperhead or the Trooper would be Poe or Dahl, possibly. And in terms of Nabokov, still don't have a clue. Cannot wait to find out what it's going to be. And a lot of people are saying Trouble Bubble and Televiper. I get that, but also it just seems a little bit too underpriced as well for that.
Does it? Well, it was because I don't know. I guess I don't remember what the Trouble Bubble was priced at.
$54.99.
Okay.
So maybe they've taken some things out.
Or the agreement was made for a price earlier. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Well, again, we'll find out, I guess, with these ones. But I am looking forward to getting my hands on that Copperhead and that Trooper, though. And it's also quite interesting that the Trooper uses a lot of officer parts as well, like in terms of the build. I have found that quite interesting, and also adds another beautiful level of confusion to the entire thing when they typoed and put officer on the on the slide.
Yeah, I would like him to have new straps to kind of not only just to tie him closer to that older figure, but also because those don't exist in the classified line yet, and it would be nice to find a way to get them in there. I like that they're fixing things though in the classified line and tidying up some of the lore of G.I. Joe in some ways, because this to me probably always should have been Python Trooper.
I wish they'd continued the era and just to kind of like have a blatant but done the same thing, like accidentally got the names the wrong way around and didn't even realize they'd messed it up, and then it's like,
or called one of them like Cobra Squad Leader.
Yeah.
Throw complete do something completely different.
Call it a Python Viper. Just to annoy, just to like completely throw off the other one. Kimberlin says Wreckage Sabretooth. Do you know what? That is a pretty good shout that I think is a definite doable option for that Firefly repaint.
Yeah. I definitely want to. I definitely want to see them visit Wreckage Sabretooth.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Preferably the Sabretooth deco, because Wreckage is a little different.
Jamie Lynn says, did they jump the gun on Marauder's Barbecue? I'd imagine they'd eventually come back and do more of those. I can tell you, Jamie Lynn, they are probably going to do more of those. Wink, wink, nod, nod. So yeah, there will be more of the Marauders redecos. I imagine as well in probably the near future too. So yeah, I don't think we've seen the end of the Mad Marauders deco. They still need to do Hit and Run and Major Blood, says you be playing. Hit and Run Tiger Force, Major Blood Python Patrol, I think are two very good options. What I would say is Hit and Run, it hasn't had a figure at all yet, so it would be great to get a pre-paint of him in the Tiger Force team. And Major Blood, this is one we've talked about in the past. There's 2 levels to this, Pat, because obviously we've got this almost like second version of Python Patrol with the vehicle deco almost on all the figures. And Major Blood is like a slightly different build to it's not the version 1 Major Blood that is in Python Patrol technically, is it?
Right. But I think that they could probably approximate that with it. And the pattern that he has on him, maybe they can find a halfway in between to make him mesh well with the existing figures. That Major Blood figure is so good.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And I don't know that there are a ton of options to repaint it. Maybe the Fun School Major Blood.
Yeah.
But, why not just use it again? I think that if they put that in the Python Patrol line, it's just going to be a surefire seller. It's Major Blood. He generally doesn't get a lot of attention.
No, I have to agree though. I think that figure's brilliant. And also Karl Kopinski posted his like full artwork on that quite recently as well. You can see that on our Facebook page. That is a really gorgeous piece of art for the Major Blood figure as well. It's stunning. So yeah, that's worth checking out.
For sure. That's one of the best ones, the classified line.
Definitely. We could see a Dreadnought recolor of the Ram cycle, says RKW. I think we definitely could. That's one that I think they're probably going to keep reutilizing because, you know, we've seen it in green, we've seen it at the Tiger Ram. I could see them doing more of those personally, and I don't think that's a one where you go, oh, not again. I think that's one that you go, oh, cool, like there's another Ram.
Right, I think so too. I think spreading them out would be nice, but you know, I'd like to see something different and then see that revisited later. But if that's what it is, it's not awful. I mean, even if it was a Python Patrol figure that came with it, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather it come with a Dreadnought.
A few people talking about Python Patrol Valkyries. That's actually not a bad shout, and I think I would say that's like a inevitability at some point, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, Python Patrol is kind of the same as Tiger Force. Even if it ends relatively soon, I don't think that it would be bad to revisit it later because there's still, like, you know, the airborne ripcord that they could do.
That's for you, Pat. From CC.
Oh, yeah, right.
That is a deep cut, CC Russell. I'm
is.
glad you remembered the conversation that Pat and I had about the Bradford. No, it wasn't. Was it Bradford Exchange? The train. It was something like that. It was a random thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, and very deluxe. I can't wait to see if somebody have that in hand. To see if Philip's typo is going around the track.
Oh, amazing. GL says, what was the name of the Firefly repaint that was never produced? They should do that. Yeah, that was Wreckage / Sabretooth. It was Sabretooth in the originally, and then whenever it was kind of done later on, of course, Marvel had, you know, Sabretooth in Marvel, so they avoided that like the plague and created Wreckage instead. Am I right with that, Pat? I haven't kind of...
Yeah, that's right. At the time, there weren't a lot of images of the original Sabretooth figure online. The ones that were online were in black and white, as a matter of fact. So I kind of think that maybe the people who were doing the Wreckage figure didn't have the color reference, which would be a shame if they didn't have it physically at Hasbro. But the colors that are on Wreckage really are not the same as what was on the original plan for Sabretooth. So there is a little bit of a distinction between the two.
Yeah.
Whenever we say it now. But yeah, Wreckage is definitely intended to be that us finally getting that Sabretooth figure.
I kind of now I like the fact that you could effectively have two different characters now because they share slightly different deco. That's just so finicky, isn't it? But yeah, thank you, GL, for that. And that's what it is. Jeffrey Smith says, I'm just here to waste time. I like that, Jeffrey. I like that we can fill that time for you with, like I said, our witty banter and hilarious chat. Brilliant. Sean says, I can't wait for this Target event. I need to keep my pre-order counts up. Whoever said nobody ever. That's what your handle should be, Sean, just to make that even funnier. It would have been if your name was Nobody Ever, because nobody ever would say that. That's amazing. Pat, how are your pre-order counts at the moment? 0
Very
now?
low. My pre-order counts are low. I've been trying to keep them low.
People are saying Ferret, Python Patrol Ferret, Python Patrol Coil Cycle. Again, I don't think the Coil Cycle is going to happen again, but yeah, the Ferret would be dope, wouldn't it? That would be sweet.
Yeah, I'm just even trying to think of what Python Patrol vehicles there are, and there were not a ton of them that were large. Python Patrol Snake, that would be awesome.
Oh, hell yeah!
But I don't even know that would be $44.99. No. $45.
The Asp,
even that feels like it should be larger, but I could see it fitting. That might be a lot of hollow space, but yeah.
Yeah. Peppermint Oil Capsule says Nobikov equals Red Jackal. I wish. Yeah, he was something. He was he was Nobikov, wasn't he? I forget the first name. Like it's the most Russian name ever, and I've completely forgotten it. But yes, peppermint oil capsule, big time. Jeffrey Smith says Trouble Bubble or the ferret. I think it's got to be something that's quite obvious still. Yorktown Joe says Python Patrol Crocmaster with different color croc. I mean, I'd be all over that, Yorktown Joe, because we do again have that precedent of Crocmaster in the modern 4-inch line with the red crocodile, which I think is a missed opportunity if they don't reuse that tooling to give us a Python Crocmaster.
Yeah, but like we said, extend out the line or just revisit some things later.
Yeah, big time.
We did go to clearance though, so that may be a tough sell to target.
That's a good point. That is a good. Well, yeah, it is a good point. Although I feel like it was still. You see, I didn't see it. That's another one I never saw at retail ever.
You never saw a Crocmaster at retail?
No.
Oh, around here there were months where you could just walk in at any time and buy a Crocmaster. They've cleared them out. And I don't really know that he cleared because he didn't sell. I kind of feel like most of us bought one, but maybe they just overproduced.
I was going to say possibly a distribution issue with that
one. It could be,
yeah. Let's face it, there was plenty of those. Swamp Skier for Zartan, yeah, but I don't think we're going to get that. A Python Patrol Zartan would be pretty cool, though.
Python Patrol Chameleon would be awesome.
Big time. Sorry, guys. Lots of comments. I'm not going to get to them all. I'm so sorry. You guys keep pouring them in. It's great. Keep it going. Anton, thank you very much. It was Anton Nobikov. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. To Mark and Peppermint Oil Capsule for yelling it at me. Have we gone down the rabbit hole yet? I got here a little late. Not yet, Jeffrey. I don't know what rabbit hole you're talking about. We've plenty of rabbit holes to go down, Kitty said. Right then, well, let's move on then, Pat, because obviously we've got more to talk about, and this is the final news segment because we've got to keep it a little brief today, and that's in classified updates news. The tidal wave of classified product continues to hit us hard as we are starting to see almost every figure revealed over the last few months in someone's hands in some part of the world. Lowlight, Crimson Viper, Grunt, Tunnel Rat, Firefly and Desert Commando Snake Eyes have all been showing up recently, as well as video reviews for Nunchuck and the Snow Serpent. In addition to the barrage of figures, we've also been seeing some very interesting pre-production pieces emerging on eBay. One particular grey gladiator style helmet has had everyone in a tizzy as to who it could belong to, as well as an unused Cobra Trooper helmet, a mysterious backpack and a very familiar hat that could belong to Muskrat. That's all a bit speculative at this point, but let's get stuck into it anyway. Speculative and incorrect, I would also like
to... Chris sends me the files that we're going to go through a little bit beforehand, and I do try to sometimes be a professional and actually prepare myself before we go on, and I double-checked on the backpack and the hat. And the backpack is from Star Wars. It's the Endor Rebel Commando.
Thank you, Pat.
The hat, like that second one, that one that looks like it could be Muskrat, looking from the top, I'm pretty sure that's Cad Bane.
And I think you're 100% correct on that. And the only reason I didn't know that is because in the constant thread of talking about it, no one at any point mentioned any of those things. So I was just under the assumption that, oh, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I hadn't had any confirmation on that either. So I probably shouldn't have gone all out on the speculative craziness at that point.
Well,
yeah,
we speculate. I didn't know what it was for sure, but then I started doing searches for Star Wars backpack. Like Star Wars Black Series backpack. And then I noticed the figure had straps. So then I found one that had it from the back.
I looked at it and I was thinking, oh, maybe we're getting straps now on backpacks. Oh, that's really interesting. Maybe it's Quick Kick's backpack because it kind of had that Quick Kick vibe of a backpack. And I thought, oh, maybe it's got straps because obviously he's naked.
Yeah.
And they don't want to do another floating bazooka style backpack. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then after all that speculative thought and like getting really excited, Pat's like, yeah, mate, it's Black Series. Son of a...
Does make me wonder if the spiked helmet is also from something that we haven't seen. Like, it'll be Tuesday and we'll be watching Ahsoka, and there'll be this spiked helmet on a character, and we'll be like, oh, there it is. You know
well,
what I mean?
it does have a bit of Mandalorian going on, doesn't it? I've got to say.
Maybe.
Let's go through a couple of things before we get to that, because obviously we've got images to look at first. Obviously, we're seeing loads of figures coming through now, Pat, like literally kind of coming in hand all over the place. Are you, first off, surprised about the distance between reveal and actually getting these in hand? Because it just seems that they've minimized that window dramatically.
Well, no, they minimize the window for somebody who isn't me, because it'll still be months before I get these in hand, is what it feels
But
like.
do you not feel that that is also minimized?
I don't want to say minimized. I would like a more global rollout on all of this stuff. It does feel like, I generally feel like whenever I get something in hand, it's well after everybody else. I opened up my eel last night finally, and mine was fine. But yeah, most of the time I feel like any of the figures I get are old news.
Right. That
Whether
actually,
or not
do you know
I
what?
pre-ordered them.
That is totally right. And I feel like there was some like ever so slight element of that back in the, like, way back.
Yeah.
But it seems now that we get a reveal and then all of a sudden it's in Germany, or it's like the reveal and then like almost like a week later, oh, it's in hand in Hong Kong, or here's a video review. And so, and you kind of think, it's crazy this is happening. Obviously, there's Low Light. We've also got the Crimson Viper. But it does feel like that is happening way quicker. And I'm wondering if it's like the thing of, how it's almost like necessity is the mother of invention, or if people want something enough, other people see that as an opportunity, right?
Yeah.
And in the past, it hasn't been that big a deal that something gets, a video review or images of the figure. It was never really that big a deal. It wasn't that, like, people didn't necessarily need that. They just wanted the figure in hand. And now it's kind of switched to, they want as much information about something as possible before getting it in hand. And that seems to be growing. And the need for that is growing, this almost industry of getting those figures anyway, anyhow, at the earliest opportunity, in order to get hits, get clicks, get views, get all that kind of stuff. And then the whole thing gets bigger and bigger until we're in this position at the moment where it's like, it's like we'll get hold of that, brilliant, as early as possible. Boom, here are the images, and you get loads of attention for it.
Yeah, that's been around a while though, because like in the 25th era, like one of the things that I love collecting are sample figures, like an FEP, a figure that is slightly different than what came out.
Yeah.
And, those started really hitting pretty heavily. Like some of the 25th ones, finally the floodgates opened right around 2009 when our Rise of Cobra was coming out. I think some of the stuff in China just finally started going onto the market. And it was like competing for those was difficult. But then whenever something new from that point on would pop up, it almost felt like I was competing against the people who wanted it for news, just because I wanted it to have it in hand. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes the people who wanted it for news would later resell it. So
right.
that's been a thing for a while.
I just feel like, as well, I think it depends on the line too. Like if the line's got that buzz about it, which Classified does, people want to see that stuff. They want to see it, even if it's like, but effectively they want it in hand. Like I'm the same, like I want the figures. But I definitely feel like that need creates this like speed with which we are seeing these figures, kind of like, people getting them and wanting to show them off and stuff like that.
Yeah, and there's a lot more outlets too to show stuff now.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, the Crimson Viper has different wrist gauntlets as the figure 6-pack. Interesting. I didn't notice that, but
I didn't notice that either.
I can't even remember what the figure gauntlets look like on the other figures. That's interesting because I didn't know there were any changes on that. That's cool. Okay, cool. And then obviously we've got Firefly, we've got Grunt as well in hand. I know we've looked at a lot of these already. I just wanted to, these are just kind of like visual representation of what we're talking about, really. Are you, obviously there's still a distribution issue. Obviously there is still it's not smooth. It's not like there's no rhythm to it at the moment. I'm hoping that catches up to itself and we get into a rhythm next year where it isn't like these big lumps of things where it's like, Yojo June was intense. Yojo July seemed to be even more intense. And then August, we're only talking a couple months later, and all of this stuff is flooding in that we've only been revealed and seen and pre-ordered months prior. And like, I personally, I'm the only things I'm like out of at the moment are Flint, Vipra. Who else? Eels is on its way. This is crazy, by the way, when I say this. Tripwire is on his way. That 5-figure wave of Tunnel Rat, Low Light, Crimson Viper, Grunt, and Tunnel Rat are on their way. Snake Eyes Desert Commando is on his way. That's crazy. That's 6, 7, that's 8 figures that are literally on the water to me right now. A Televiper and the Trouble Bubble turned up the other day. Snow Serpents around the corner. Valkyries is around the corner. It's like, wow, how but this really does need to be ironed out though, because there's no way we can keep going on like this. Where it was like last year we had the end of the year problem, didn't we? Where it was like everything just turned up in like a space of about 2 weeks before Christmas as well.
That's what really made keeping up difficult for me, and why I kind of shifted my way of collecting the line. But yeah, I think that something needs to be done. I guess we could look at how many of them came out this year and divide by 52 or divide by 12 to just kind of determine, how often do they have to come out, just based on how many of them that are being produced. And then you figure that Hasbro's kind of, at the mercy of how Walmart's actually going to deliver and how Target's actually going to deliver, to avoid having those lumps of figures coming in. They really can't do a whole lot about those exclusives, I don't think.
I think they're just, what they've decided to do now is deliver via T-shirt cannon. That's the new way of doing it. What they do is they put it inside the thing, they stomp on it, and then they just fire it out. Anyway, I just realized we're getting close to the end of time, so we're gonna have to squeeze through a little bit here.
The end of all time. That's bad.
The end of all time. Apologies to A.R.M.O.R if we do go over a little bit, but you know how it is. Then, of course, we've got these items. We've kind of talked a little bit about these. One thing I can say about this grey helmet, I have had confirmation that it is not Big Boa, okay? So we can scratch him off straight away in terms of this particular helmet. I've also had confirmation that it is classified related, but I don't know what it is. So those are your 2 things you can work with there. So this grey helmet specifically has something to do. What do you think, Pat? Any ideas?
No, actually, I was sitting here wondering if it was classified related, because the appearance of some Star Wars parts in these lots make me think that maybe it wasn't, but you're telling me it is. Hopefully it's more classified related than it's Star Wars, but it's made in the same factory as classified.
Yeah, like, again, that's another thing as well. Yeah, I'm not going to start confirming everything left, right, and center, but I will say that's what I have been informed. What I would also say on this one is it does have that like Mandalorian vibe to me. It does have like some sort of Star Warsy kind of vibe, but also a bit of Fortnite in there. But that doesn't mean that it's either of those things. It just means that might have inspired whatever this kind of character is. Could be brand new. That's another thing. We do know new concepts are being introduced into the line, and something completely brand new could be pretty fresh, couldn't it? I'd be up for that.
Yeah, it could be a helmet for like a vehicle, just an extra helmet to go with a Dreadnought cycle or something.
Oh, I like that thought. Some sort of Dreadnought inspired item. Yeah. actually, I do actually quite like that idea a lot. Thank you, Peppermint Oil Capsule. Gotta go, Soz. Games Night returns soon at Sergeant Slaughterhouse. Thank you very much, Peppermint Oil Capsule, for the super chat. We really appreciate it. Yeah, cool. Well, there's that. And then here's another shot of it from above. And this, I have been also informed, was an unused Cobra Trooper head, which is pretty cool. It's a shame we've got to rush through this, isn't it, Pat? But this is quite a nice little kind of like addition.
Yeah, I wish that I would have spotted one of these available. I would have picked one up.
Kind of like that kind of almost like very thin little gap in the like the eye slot almost. But that's a really cool little idea, I think, for an unused helmet. I like that a lot. Yeah. And I think the other things we just wanted to say, I just wanted to make clear here that even though in the video I said, "Ooh, this could be a quick kick backpack," or this could be a muskrat hat. No, as Pat said before, it's a Cad Bane hat, and it is a Endor Trooper. Did you say
Rebel Commando? I think
Rebel Commando Black Series backpack. So ignore what I said in the video, being silly. Obviously, we've got Copperhead's machete, the pistol. We've got Rock and Roll's machine gun. And we've got the missiles from Scrap Iron's drone there as well, kind of very pre-pro-y and bendy and wibbly and all over the place. Anyway, yes, Rachel, unused so far. That's a good point, actually. I quite like that.
Yeah, that is a good point. Yeah.
Well, we'll stick with that one. Anyway, I think that's everything, Pat, for the news. But yeah, and I hope, like I said, can't 1,000,000,000% confirm anything, but we are under the information that we've received is that it's not Big Boa's helmet and it is classified related. So there you go. Okay. That is it for the news. Let's move into shout outs quickly and then we'll finish up so we can get to armor in 2 minutes time.
Have you tried Hoarder yet? No? Well, you need to. If you have a collection of things and want to create a fun and easy way of organising it and of course showing it off, then get involved. You can post items and build collections, and you can drop a status like getting a fun delivery or seeing some awesome related stuff on your travels. Build your collections with Hoarder. The app is free to download on Google Play and the App Store, so what are you waiting for? Get to hoarding.
Right then, let's breeze through the shout-outs. Pat, who have you got first, my good man?
Shout out, of course, to Philip. We should have something up by the end of the month on articulated points, and we will have a video as well here for armor.
Yay! Link in the description for armor as well, but we'll cover that in a second. But yeah, shout out to Phil and shout out to articulated points. Pat, love the channel as always, and loved the last video as well, the Crimson Guard one, I think it was. That was wicked. Really enjoyed that.
Thank you. Yeah.
No worries. Also, shout out to the fam, UK, US. You know who you are. I'm going out to the UK. I booked my flight yesterday. Yay!
Oh, wow.
September the 5th to September the 19th, I think it is. So I'll be out in the UK in that time. If you're from the UK, I'm probably not going to see you because obviously I've got to see my family, haven't I? I've got to see my family. And I've got to go and hang out with Nick and Mass in Demand Toys. I'll do lots of videos. It'll be fun. And we'll still do the show. So don't worry about that too much. I think I'm flying out kind of midweek-ish either side. So I'm keeping the weekends clear, Pat, so we can do our weeklies, no worries.
Okay.
So shout out to them.
That's
the most important thing. To Brian Sauer, of course, for many things, our graphics for one, but then also disassembly required, November 3rd and 4th, Hy-Vee Hall, downtown Des Moines, Iowa. That is obviously still, will probably be more information, I imagine, following the ARMOR event, which is the online one, which is happening today, now actually. It's 11 a.m. right now. That's 10 a.m. Central. I think Brian is going to hold out until we finished. Sorry, guys, again for this. But like I said, that is on link in the description to go and check it out on YouTube. It's definitely worth it. And I'm excited to watch that as well when this episode finally ends. Also, shout out to Skeletron, who posted these amazing images. Yesterday, we had a very cool Metal as Force RoboSkull Mark II imprinted onto the massive block of steel, which is really cool. And the test shot revisions for the retro Skeletron Wolf Trooper have been successfully concluded, and the factory is now putting the finishing touches on the paint applications and Skull and Crossbones logo before we initiate full production. Here's another glimpse of the in-process O-ring figure nearly to its final form. Boom. How cool does that look, Pat?
I'm really looking forward to that. The proportions look so good on it. That's some nice stuff.
That is a beautiful figure, and I cannot wait to have that in hand. Also, just to shout out, the pre-order store is still open, so you can go over there, link in the description, and go nuts. That is everything. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I did not, we were 1 minute late. I'm an idiot. But anyway, thanks for watching the show. It's been a pleasure. Pat's going to be on A.R.M.O.R for Articulated Points very shortly, so go check that out. It's going to be amazing. Pat, thank you so much for jumping on again, mate. Always appreciate it.
Thanks again.
We'll be back with a monthly with a Corey Cantaloupe interview as well. Check that. That'll be out later today, I hope, if I can edit in time. And Let's Talk Classified Airborne and lots more. I will see you guys on the next one, as well as Pat. Pat will also see you on the next one. It's been an absolute pleasure. Stay fresh, cheese bags. And as always, after 3, 1, 2, 3,
full force.
Now go watch A.R.M.O.R.
Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on Twitter @TheFullForce, liking the Facebook page facebook.com/TheFullForce, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on either of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/TheFullForce podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.